welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by Johnny Paulus. Johnny, welcome in on this fine Saturday evening. It's the freaking weekend, and here we are recording our episode for Monday. Lot to chew into this week, but how has this past week been for you?
It's been good. She-Hulk came out this week, and I loved it. There's a post-credit scene at the end that had the funniest moment that the MCU's ever had. I literally howled with laughter 15 seconds after it was done. I was still laughing. Is the funniest thing Marvel's ever fucking done, ever. The show's great. So far with the first episode, basically everything we've seen in the trailers with her and Bruce is the first episode. So it's nice when you see a trailer for a show and then you watch the first episode and you're like, that was basically everything they've showed us. So I have no idea what's coming next. But the star of it's super charming and I'm excited about it. So awesome there. And today we had a Philly day. So me, the wife, and the kids, we got in the car and drove up to Philly. We checked out a massive 2-floor thrift store. Of course, we got a cheesesteak. This time we did Geno's. Of course, I did Whiz With, because that's what you do when you're in Philadelphia. For people that are not local and don't know what that means, a real Philadelphia cheesesteak is with Cheese Whiz. Not provolone.
Cheese sauce.
Cheese. It's got that cheese sauce. Okay?
It's not that brand name Cheese Whiz.
And so you'll hear the locals when they go to the counter and say what sandwich they want. Most of them will say Whiz With, which means you want the Cheese Whiz and you want it with onions. So if you're ever in Philly and you walk into it, just trust me. Even if you're not a Cheese Whiz fan, I don't give a fuck. When you're in Philly, you eat a Philly cheesesteak and you go to the counter and you say Whiz With. They will know what you mean. Also went to one of our favorite things to do in Philly is to go to the Italian district, where it's just markets and squares and, there's all these little produce set up along the side. I found so many good deals. I finally was like, fuck it. I need a styrofoam cooler. So I went and bought one of those little cheap styrofoam coolers, got a bag of ice and was like, all right, let's go hit that butcher stand. Let me get some chicken wings. Let me get some thighs. Let me get some of that sausage. All right, cool. Now let's go over here. Let's get that produce. Let's go over here. Let's get some fresh pasta. We loaded up on really, really good fresh food. So, no, it was a fun day. And that is why we're recording earlier than we normally do, because everybody is passed out.
Yes, this is my prime time. This is when I like to record. I might have a little bit more spunk this week. The 10 o'clock hour is golden hour for Mike Dawson.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Let's rock.
My sleep pattern has been kind of weird this past week. I've gone really hard in the paint on the video game flipping business that I have to the side of my regular day job. I've made several large purchases this past week, all on the eastern shore of Maryland, the more farmy part of the state for those unacquainted. And it's worked out pretty well. I think total I invested about $600. I have not sold more than half of it, and I'm at about $1,200 returned already.
Wow. Kicking ass.
So the funds are flowing in from the side job, which is great. You can't really see behind me, but there's a mess of just bullshit behind me that I still have to sort through. Ironically enough, it's the bullshit that makes you money. Like power adapters, Wii nunchucks, Wiimote condoms, the little plastic padding things.
Oh yeah? What are those worth? I got a handful of those.
Well, it goes beyond having a handful and having enough to stock a store with them. And that's what I have. I have about 50.
Holy shit. What do they go for?
Well, you can lot them together and sell them for, a decent profit. I mean, they're basically free. When I bought these boxes of stuff, I didn't go, well, okay, so you've got 50 Wiimote things, so I'm going to give you $1 a piece. No, they were just there.
Right.
So it's what I call the free money.
Yeah, it's free
That's
money.
Where if you really know how to maximize a box of hate from someone at a yard sale or a lot buy, that's really where you can make your profit. One of the boxes I bought had 3 Xbox 360 power supplies in it. They sell for 20 a piece. So that's
Hell
$60
yeah.
right there, free.
Yep.
It was just thrown in the box. Pretty good week this week. And I for fun today, to get away from shipping and all this trash and stuff, because I've done like 40 shipments this past week. It's been a lot. So I went out and got me a couple of light N64 games, which is fun. So adding to the collection, maybe someday it'll be a full set. Who knows? It gets really pricey towards the end. So not looking forward to that part. Regardless, welcome in, everybody. This is episode 80 of the Power Gamer podcast. A nice round number there for Johnny Paulus. Another milestone. You can say we've done 10 episodes 8 times. It's 80. We have a lot to discuss this week. As always, we're going to first begin by discussing what we've been playing this week. I'm going to take the first round here. I think on last week's show I said I wanted to play Cult of the Lamb. That's right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So mainly my time this week, has been consumed about what I was just talking about. And several days where I was up till 4 a.m. trying to catch up during the week. So I didn't have a ton of time for video games, but I did make time to play Cult of the Lamb and the Quarry this week. Let's hit the Quarry first. I believe I'm about halfway through the game. Chapter 5 or 6. Still very good. Definitely on par with Until Dawn up until the point that I've played. So if you like that game, but maybe didn't like the Dark Pictures Anthologies games as much, I'm getting to the point where I feel safe recommending the Quarry. So certainly check that out. Cult of the Lamb. This is the big one. I feel like a lot of people are talking about this game right now. And it's unfortunate that I don't think Johnny's going to be able to chime in on this one. Because you've maybe seen it, but you certainly haven't played it yet.
Just bought it.
Very good. Cult of the Lamb. It doesn't do anything new, but what it does take from other games and mush together, it does the best. It's part Stardew Valley, part Hades, part Tamagotchi. It's an interesting game, and it plays really, really well. The art style on it, of course, is fantastic. I think that draws a lot of people in. However, the gameplay loop on it's very awesome. I guess technically it's a roguelite or roguelite, whatever, but it doesn't feel like one, which is why I'm enjoying it, because I don't really care for roguelites, as I've discussed here on the show before. But I mean, basically the gameplay loop in Cult of the Lamb is you take care of your cult and building different structures to gain wood, stone, gold, etc. Building a farm for food. You have your church where you can give sermons. And one of the main fueling mechanics of the game is the devotion of your followers. It's something you collect from a shrine in the middle of your base. And that's how you unlock new buildings. Their progression and their devotion is how you level up your character. It's how you unlock new rituals, like sacrificing people or bringing them back from the dead, or murdering your followers or extorting them for money.
Okay.
Johnny, you unfortunately got old and perished because my cult despises the elderly. So when you became elderly, I waited for everyone to go to sleep that night, and I murdered you.
Okay.
And then the next day, because my cult believes in resurrection, I resurrected you.
So I'm back.
Yes.
Okay, it's good.
That was the plan. I'm like, okay, murder, then I'll resurrect him.
Okay.
This game's wild. The actual, like, out in the wild part of the game, there's other areas besides your base camp you can unlock that are like safe places. Like one has fishing and another kind of side cult that wants to be with you that has a lighthouse that you need to repair. There's a guy with like a mushroom kingdom and he needs you to bring him mushrooms and shit. And then there's the main area where you go into the runs, so to speak. And I think it's a randomly generated progression room to room. It definitely feels that way because every time I go into Darkwood or wherever, it's different.
Right.
And the first room you walk into, you get a draw of a weapon and a special ability. And sort of like Hades, each one of these little realms, there's 4 of them. But when you go into them, it has a tree of your path to get to the boss of that run. And, you know, some of the stops might be wood, might be followers, might be different weapons, etc. And so you choose your path to get to the boss, kill the boss, and that ends the loop. But as you do each loop, there's a little counter that you see tick at the back of the final room. And when you fill it, you face that realm's boss. And the boss fights are great. They're not too punishing. They're fairly manageable. Like this isn't one where you're going to be slamming your face into the wall. I think I've died a total of 2 times in this game.
Right.
It's just fun. It's a great time. And I can't strongly recommend enough people play it. I will be pushing all the way through the end on this. It feels like it's going to be a fairly long game just because of how much stuff there is to do.
Cool.
So, Cult of the Lamb, very interesting game. Will be very interesting to see how a game like this pans out in the court of public opinion as we get towards the end of the year. One last thing to say about this game that's cool, and this is for all you Twitch streamers out there. Johnny, I'm speaking to you, you goddamn Twitch streamer.
I'm listening.
Twitch.tv/HellHeroH3 LLH3R0.
Come in and say hi.
It has a built-in interface that connects your game to Twitch.
Okay.
And in this way, you can, as the streamer, raffle off spots for your Twitch viewers and followers to become your next cult member.
Oh, that's awesome.
But also, the audience of your stream can either fuck with you or aid you.
Saw that coming.
They're your cult. Keep them happy, they aid you. Upset them, they fuck with you.
Got it.
So when I watch streamers playing this game, their whole camp is laid out with their viewers as their cult members. But what's really cool about it, the way I'm playing it as a normal person, they're just people and I can enter the names and whatever. But when the Twitch streamer's doing it, you actually get a little Twitch icon with the user's name imported into the game. And so that nameplate is above the character. So the people watching, it's such a streamer friendly game.
Damn, that's awesome. I got to get in on that.
Yeah. I mean, communities are booming that are streaming this game because of how well they designed it to integrate with Twitch. So Cult of the Lamb, guys, this game is pretty good. I'm not far enough into it to start throwing my numerical feelies around yet.
Right.
But I can say that it's safely going to be above an 8. I can say that.
Hey, that's not a bad place
and
to be.
it's possible to go 9+. I want to play more of it before I start.
See if it sticks the landing.
Yeah, before I start putting that flag post in. So Really, that's been it for me. I mean, I've played some classic games this week as I've been fucking around with systems and stuff, but nothing really worth having a conversation about. So, Johnny, for you have played more than me this week. What's going on here? I guess it's time for me to yield to you, sir.
Well, so you called me out last episode because I was playing Solasta, and you were like, "What the fuck?" I thought you were raving about Pathfinder. Now you're just leaving Pathfinder in the dust, and I was like, you know what? He's right.
What?
So I fired Pathfinder back up.
Hold up. Okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to say you were right. I was wrong. I'm just going to say you were right.
Okay.
Okay. You're not getting the full admission there. But I fired up Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous again, got back into it, and got into the biggest fight I've had yet in that game. I'm pretty sure you were watching the stream when I did that one. So, like, the first main, like, hub very early in the game is a tavern called Defender's Heart. And it's kind of like you're picking up quests there, and then you're coming back and you're resting and you're leveling up, and then you go back out and explore some more, and you come back and you vendor all your shit, and you go back out. It's like it's your hub, it's your safe place. Well, the demons invaded the safe place, so it was cultists and pyros and demons and all kinds of shit. And what was cool about the fight was, so I'm playing that game in turn-based combat, and in turn-based combat, everyone had a turn. So it was like there were like 6 archers that were, you know, the guards of the town. I wasn't controlling them, but they all took their turns, and I could see like who was next and how many turns they were going to get. I got a pretty good feel for like, okay, that guy's low, but the archer right there is probably going to hit him. So let me work on this guy and work on that guy. But they just kept coming and coming and coming. It was a big ass fight. It just kept going. It was so many fucking things to fight. But hey man, the writing in the game still continues to be great. The story continues to be great, and I'm back on it and progressing through it. The rest of my week was really spent on multiplayer games. I had several multiplayer nights. I did one stream of Rumbleverse, and I could not stop playing it. I got very, very close to a win early on. I was in the final 3. I'm starting to get a feel for. So my favorite thing about Rumbleverse, and I think I mentioned this last week, is how easy it is to pick up. It's not the skill level is not like it is with a game like Fortnite or like Apex, where like you get against somebody that's really good and you don't have a fucking chance. This game's really not like that. And the only learning curve is there's so many different special moves. And that's basically what you're looting. So you're running around, you're opening boxes, increase max health, increase max stam, increase max attack power. But then beyond that, instead of picking up like weapons and grenades like you do in Fortnite, you're picking up all of your special moves. And there's so many of them. And it's one of the things that's really fun is like you'll play a game and somebody will kick your ass with a move that you've never used. And then you go, oh, what's this one? You do it, and you're like, oh, that was the move that the guy got me last game. Okay, cool. I've got that now. Let's try it out. So it's really fun you have 2 special moves available to you, and one is right bumper and one is left bumper, and it's really fun trying to find like the perfect combo. What's the best ones to have? What's the one with some range? What's the one with a stun? But no, I'm digging that game. It's a lot of fun. I don't know if it's going to keep my attention for weeks or months or one more playthrough. I don't know, but it's free. It doesn't feel punishing as far as the buy shit. It's all cosmetic. I don't. If I can unlock random cosmetics here and there, I don't think I'm going to be too tempted to be blowing money on this game. So in the world of predatory free-to-play games, so far, so good. It seems okay. There hasn't really been any major, like, okay, I know you want me to pull my wallet out. But it's been pretty all right. On top of that, I had a Rocket League night. I hadn't played it in a very long time. I feel like I've lost my touch. I'm not going to lie. This is a game I had like 900 hours in, and I thought I was pretty damn good. But now at this point, I haven't played for so long that I get on, and I'll have moments. I'll have moments here and there, but it's the the rust has definitely settled in a little bit. But I had fun with it.
Those 900 hours, sir. That was a few years ago.
I know. Trust me, I know, because I've been going so hard on rolling credits on single player games. But today I fell back into my old habits of rocking some multiplayer. And last night I had a fucking ball with Overwatch. I just fired up regular old Overwatch and started doing mystery heroes and regular deathmatch and quick play. And they have a bunch of Junkenstein's Revenge events going on right now. And so they're doing the anniversary, and there's a soldier skin that I really want. And I think it's 3,000 points, and I've got like 2,300. So I'm going to be playing Overwatch here and there for the next couple weeks because I really want that skin. He's my favorite character. I have most of his skins, and I want to get that one before I miss my opportunity. But so that's really been it. I played a bunch of Pathfinder and a bunch of multiplayer games.
Here's my burning question then is what game will you be streaming tonight?
Cult of the Lamb.
Cult of the Lamb. All right, good. It's time.
Cult of the Lamb. Yep. It's happening tonight.
That wraps up what we've been playing this week, and we've got some interesting stuff to talk about. Finally. It's been such a drought for actual news. I listened to last week's episode, and I just want to, before we get started here, apologize. That episode was fucking trash, in my opinion. I listened back to it, I'm like, man, we don't sound interested in this at all. And I hate to phone in episodes sometimes, but that was one where it definitely felt like it was kind of phoned in. So may episode 79 live in infamy.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to have slow weeks, and I think maybe when we have more of those slow news weeks, I think the onus is on us to come up with something fun to discuss, which is something that I think we did in the earlier days of the show.
There was a lot more of that, yeah.
There's a lot of pick threes, and I think when we have, we have certain weeks where we go through it and we're like, well, obviously we have to talk about this. Like, they do a big Nintendo Direct, like we got to talk about that. But, a week like last week where it's like, I mean, I guess we could, that'll be that segment.
I listened to half the episode and I fucking turned it off.
I mean, the THQ Nordic event was
so bad
as it was.
So bad. And I can tell when I'm not interested in something because every other word out of my mouth becomes,
Yep.
And that's what that episode is. So complete garbage. If you want to listen to it for the memes, go for it because there's a plenty. But consciously, after listening to that, I said, okay, we're not going to do that again. So
yeah.
Quick question, by the way. This is a live actual question for Johnny.
Hit me.
We had discussed a partnership last week. Do we need? Is that a thing? Do we need to?
I need to get the official notes from them on exactly what we're supposed to say and how we're supposed to say it. But yes, we're going to have a partnership of some sort to see how it goes.
More on that later.
Right now it's under wraps. I'll have it ironed out next week. We'll talk about it.
Hopefully they don't listen to last week's episode because they might change the All right, moving along. We got some fun stuff to talk about here. So first up, another Sony game is making its way to not only PC because it's lived on PC for some time, but coming to Microsoft's Gamepass service. That's right. So we had that crossover with MLB The Show. I would consider that the first one.
Yeah, that was a big one.
But a little different than this time because that was more the MLB saying we want a bigger market for our product.
Which makes sense.
This time, it's a little bit different. So Death Stranding is coming to PC Game Pass. Now, Death Stranding, of course, already lives on PC. It was released there. What was it? Earlier this year or late last year? Something along those lines.
I think it was late last year, but I could be wrong.
So from Video Games Chronicle, here's the actual drop. Following a series of recent teases, on Friday, Death Stranding PC publisher 505 Games confirmed plans to bring the game to Microsoft's subscription service. 505 said the game will be available on August 23rd. Windows 10 and Windows 11 PC gamers can expect such features as ultra-wide mode, photo mode, high frame rate, and crossover content from some very well-known franchises.
What is that?
Sony published Death Stranding for PS4 in November 2019, and 505 released it for PC in July of 2020.
We were way off.
Yeah, a little bit. The director's cut hit PS5 last year and was released for PC in early 2022.
That's what I was thinking of, was the director's cut.
Actor Norman Reedus, who played protagonist Sam Porter Bridges in Death Stranding, seemingly confirmed that a sequel is in development in an interview published in May. Death Stranding director Hideo Kojima recently shared on Twitter that he had started editing a trailer ahead of next week's Gamescom event, where Jeff Keighley, who frequently partners with the designer on announcements for his games, is producing Gamescom opening night live. That'll be on Tuesday, so the day after this comes out. Kojima confirmed in June that he is working on a cloud-based project with Xbox. So, Johnny, this feels like it's a pretty big deal, because this is the first game that was specifically developed for Sony that didn't really have an outside string puller like the MLB.
Right.
Make its way to Game Pass. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think when Kojima was doing Metal Gear, I think there was definitely a joined at the hip relationship between Sony and the Metal Gear series. I mean, I think the Metal Gear series is as synonymous with PlayStation as Halo is with Xbox. I mean, Metal Gear Solid was very much a sort of Sony franchise for a very, very long time. But now Kojima has his own thing. And I think this is him saying, I want it on as many platforms as I can, and I want as many people to play it as I can. And I mean, we've seen in this war of the subscription services, we've seen shots fired on both sides. I mean, the Medium was a big claim to fame day one release on Game Pass, and then fast forward, now it's on PlayStation. So I mean, those things are going back and forth, but this is a big one. I mean, Death Stranding is not a small game, and I have seen Twitter. The Xbox console players are a little annoyed with this, that it's coming to PC Game Pass, but as of yet, not on Xbox Game Pass.
So something interesting I kind of wanted to underline to what you said is regarding the Metal Gear series, because I think that might be relative to what we're talking about here. Although initially Metal Gear games were always released to PlayStation, Hideo Kojima worked as a game director under Konami.
Yes.
Who owns still the Metal Gear franchise. But we would see all of the Metal Gear games released on GameCube and Xbox as well. Xbox 360 later on, so on and so forth. So we have seen a lot of Metal Gear moving over, but it's always on a delay. Right. And it kind of seems like Death Stranding is doing the same thing. However, it's kind of not, because it's not coming to Nintendo Switch. It's not coming to an Xbox console, as you mentioned. It's only coming to PC Game Pass, which doesn't really open the game, I would say, to a new market. I mean, most people on PC who wanted to play Death Stranding made their purchases of it through Steam or wherever else it was sold, maybe Epic. I think just Steam.
And I mean, it's gone on sale countless times.
So is that sort of do you think the secret sauce behind it is, now that Sony's basically exhausted every dollar and cent, that it goes to PC Game Pass, but just kind of as a unnecessary fuck you, it doesn't come to the Xbox console?
Yeah, I have no idea why it's not coming to the console. That's the biggest question mark I have. Because, I mean, as far as the Sony games coming to PC, and we've discussed this before, where Horizon Zero Dawn came out for PC after they'd already bled the cow dry. God of War came out after they'd bled the cow dry. Days Gone, same. I mean, Spider-Man. All these games are ones that, like, they're done. The cash register's not really doing much anymore. So let's go ahead and put it over on PC, and we'll get a little boost.
Huge boost. They made crap tons of cash when they did that.
I do, man. I do wish they wouldn't delay them so much. You know, I mean, I remember, you know, especially like, I think some of the Grand Theft Auto games, they would come out on console and they'd say coming to PC in like 6 months. And I would know it's coming. So I'd be like, all right, cool. Let me pump the brakes. I'm going to wait till it's out on PC. Let's go. But, you know, a lot of these games, I mean, dude, like Last of Us Part 2, or sorry, The Last of Us, the remake, remaster, what are they calling it?
Last of Us Part 1.
Last of Us Part 1. If they had if they had announced Last of Us Part 1 and, oh, here's some great news, it's coming out next summer on PC, I would say, cool, I'll wait till PC. I would just say I'll wait. I'll play it on my PC. But you know, but now we live in this era where we're getting these console games significantly after. And I really don't know why this Death Stranding thing, the timing seems weird. Like I don't know why it's not on Xbox, because you're right, it's been out on both consoles for forever. What difference does it make?
Well, and furthermore, too, I don't know if this was mentioned in the article that I read. They are not getting the director's cut version.
Oh, so that's what they're doing.
So I think this Game Pass move hits you with the standard version and does what every Game Pass game does. You know, Forza Horizon does this, where you just get the base game, but then you have to pay for everything if you want the additional content. And so this, what's coming to PC Game Pass is just the base game. It's not the director's cut. But as we mentioned here, I'll read the quote again. Windows 10 and 11 PC gamers can expect such features as ultra-wide mode, photo mode, high frame rate, and crossover content from some very well-known franchises. So there is something extra, something more, but it's not the whole enchilada. Is that the saying?
No, I mean, that was the main thing in the article that caught my attention, is like, what does that mean? You don't use the words from some very well-known franchises.
I mean, is like,
if it's
Master
like,
Chief going to be hanging out in one of the bunkers?
It's going to be something. I don't know. I'm really curious to see what the hell that's going to be.
Well, we will have to wait and see. It'll be out very soon, and both you and I have PC Game Pass, so we can certainly check it out, even though Director's Cut is part of PlayStation Extra, and I have that loaded on my PS5 because this is a game I very much want to play. So,
yep, me too. I think I have it installed on my PS5 as well. I haven't touched it. Haven't played 5 seconds of that game.
Yeah, it's Tiny Tina's fault. Sony is working on a Days Gone movie.
Let's go.
Here's the drop from IGN. Reported by Deadline, Sony PlayStation Productions is apparently developing the film with an adaptation from X-Men First Class story developer Sheldon Turner. The movie will be produced by Vendetta Productions and PlayStation Productions. Released in 2019, Days Gone is an open-world action-adventure game set in the post-apocalyptic Pacific Northwest. The game stars Deacon St. John, a motorcycle-riding bounty hunter fighting to survive against the Freakers. Freakers are zombies, zombie-like creatures that frequently attack in hordes. Deacon also spends much of the game searching for the long-lost love of his life. Yes, he threw her on a helicopter and said, "Go, I'll find you." According to the report, the movie will be a love ballad to motorcycle movies, the bike being Deacon's sole form of transportation. The producers are currently eyeing Outlander star Sam Heughan. Heughan is how you say his name, I believe, To play.
I would get that. That would be my guess. Yeah.
I don't know him from anything, and I didn't watch Outlander. So, to play Deacon St. John, the actor has also appeared in The Spy Who Dumped Me, Bloodshot, and the upcoming Everest movie. So, Johnny, a game that's very near and dear to you that you completed basically at the beginning of this year.
Yep.
So very fresh on your memory.
Yep.
A game that seemed to be much maligned at its release and grew legs and had sort of a second wind midlife. The sequel was shot down. And now there's a movie? Question mark?
That's like I have two really big questions with this one. Number one, if you believe in the franchise enough to say, let's make a fucking movie, how in the hell are you not working on a sequel? You're going to make a movie? Make another fucking game, assholes. The first one was great.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But my biggest question mark here, I mean, look, when they announced the Ghost of Tsushima movie and that I think it's the stunt coordinator from the John Wick movies is going to direct it. And then, the biggest rumor coming out of that movie is that Andrew Koji is supposed to play Jin Sakai in that movie. And that's the face of the character in the game. It's the voice of the character in the game. Fuck it. Put him in the movie. And now that guy's doing movie stuff. He's apparently in Bullet Train. I believe he's on the show Warriors. So, like, he's got some acting cred. So, like, cool. Make him the star. He's already the star of the game. It makes sense. I would argue that Deacon St. John is just as well executed of a character in the game and is voiced and played by Sam Witwer. Shout out to my man Sam Witwer. I love Sam Witwer. Okay. So Sam Witwer was also the voice for and the face for Starkiller in the Force Unleashed games. Same guy. He's also the voice actor for Darth Maul in the Clone Wars TV show. So this guy does have acting credits. I don't know if he's done any major feature films. I don't know, but I think he should have a shot at this. And the fact that they put this guy that, dude, I saw Bloodshot. I don't recognize this dude at all. I mean, now, granted, Bloodshot was probably the most forgettable there that I've watched in the last 3 years. I forgot it the moment the credits rolled. Was like, well, that was certainly 100% a movie. There was people and they said things and there was things happened in it. That was a movie. Sure was. But I saw that movie and I saw the photo of this guy being announced for the Days Gone. I don't recognize this guy at all. I have no idea who he is. So, like, why not give Sam Witwer a shot? Because he's great in that game. He's a big part of why that game works. And, he is an actor. And you're making this movie because of the people who are fans of the franchise will bring their other friends who have never played the game. Right? I mean, that's your starting fan base is going to be people who really, really, really like the game. And having someone else in there seems like a really strange choice if it's not a household name. If it's a household name, like, I get it. If you're like, oh, shit, they got fucking Ryan Gosling to do Deacon St. John, let's fucking go. But obviously, they don't have the budget for that. So if you don't have the budget for that, then just put the guy from the game. Sam Witwer's awesome.
It'll be Chris Pratt.
Ugh. Chris Pratt is in everything.
It'll be Chris Pratt.
And they still, I mean, are we ever going to hear the voice for Mario? I mean, Chris Pratt is apparently doing Mario, and apparently he's doing something completely different, unlike anything we've ever heard.
I think we're getting
Charles Martinet, the actual voice of Mario, has said he really likes what he's heard from Chris Pratt. Where's the trailer?
I hope we're getting the "Hey Paisanos." I want that back.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm excited that they're making a movie. I think the franchise is strong enough to where you could pull it off.
Oh yeah, dude, zombie anything sells.
Sold. Yeah, it's absolutely. Zombie anything sells. I agree. And I think you can make a badass biker movie with zombies. I'd watch the shit out of that, even if this wasn't a video
I
game.
mean, I was glued. A lot of people were glued to their screens when you were streaming this game because it plays out kind of like a movie, and it's a really good one at that too.
It is, dude. I know I raved enough about it when I beat this game. I'm just gonna rave some more for anybody who didn't hear that episode.
What's your gut score on this game? What would you give it? Gut score. Like you
9.2, 9.3.
There we go. That's a good slice of pizza right there.
It's a big boy. I mean, it's not quite the 9.4, 9.5 I would give God of War, but I mean it's
9.2 is you must play. You must play.
I think Days Gone is a must play.
Yeah, 9.2 is you must play.
If you have a PC or a PlayStation 5 and you enjoy action shooter games, there's no reason whatsoever not to play Days Gone.
I don't disagree.
And
I don't disagree at all.
The fact that IGN gave it a 6 point whatever the fuck, I will never ever understand. It must have been a huge pile of bugs when it came out.
Well, you know it's funny too. You know it's funny, right?
What?
The whole we're not digging up this dead horse again, but we kind of are because
we are.
They're making a fucking movie out of it, so why not? I mean, the game has sold just as well as Ghost of Tsushima.
Yep.
That's the bottom line when you're looking at anything. Is how did the game sell? The game sold just as well as Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima is also getting a movie. But Ghost of Tsushima, do you think they're having any problems working on a sequel? So that's kind of where I would say you and I, speaking for you here a little bit, kind of have a problem that the sequel got swatted down. This seems so strange to start a movie and then swat doing a sequel. But here's, I guess, maybe the good news about that is one of the dangers or one of the mistakes that we see a lot in the video game industry is people waiting too long to make their sequels. Psychonauts. And
dear God, Psychonauts, yes.
And
holy fuck.
It's like you have to strike with a sequel while the iron's hot, while people still give a fuck. Dragon Age is suffering from this now. Does anyone still give a fuck about Dragon Age? The last game came out in 2014. It's been 8 years.
Yep.
No. You needed to have that shit out like 6 years ago. So for the game getting canceled and Ben being put on different assignments, this movie, a movie just period for any kind of these projects, gives you that breath of reinterest. So if this movie, let's say it takes 2 years, right? Or a year and a half, whatever, until we can sit down and watch it. That restarts the clock of interest, I think.
I agree. Well, and I think the fact that they've greenlit this for a movie, I think that they're probably reconsidering the sequel.
Sony likes money, and they made a lot of fucking money off this game.
Yep.
So
yeah, just hire Sam Witwer. God damn it, put him in it. Make him the star.
Next up,
actually, can I sideline us before we get to the next?
Oh
segment?
yeah, sure. What you got?
You said a name, and my ADHD clicked off and was like, "Oh, there's something else we can talk about." But I didn't interrupt you. See, I was good. I behaved myself. Jeff Keighley tweeted earlier. Keighley. Jeff Keighley tweeted a list of the things that were going to be a part of opening night live for Gamescom. And one of them was a title that I had not heard of and did not know existed. And I wanted to see if you knew about this, because I think you would be excited. The Expanse, a Telltale series.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I didn't know that was happening.
All right. So real quick, you're fucking up my one-up right now. But
oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was your one-up.
So I started. It's not in the notes there, but I started season 2 of The Expanse because I fucking love that show, and I can't wait. So Tuesday is the big night, and hopefully we just I don't know if we just jump into Discord and do a share screen and sit and watch it, but Gamescom opening night is like the big shit. And
Yep.
This is going to be awesome. I mean, it's Jeff Keighley, so I know that we're going to watch like, here's an update video from the makers of so and so. And I hate that. I just want new big bombshell announcements. But they'll be in there. Yes. It'll be an hour longer than it needs to be because of stupid commercials and stuff. However, this is the closest that we get to E3 right now. So I'm watching it. Tuesday, Gamescom begins and it runs most of the week. So if you haven't watched The Expanse, I'm into season 2 now. There's like 6 seasons of the show. It's fantastic.
I'm a little bit more than halfway through the first. It hasn't stuck its claws in me yet, but I gotta go back in.
Well, it's well documented that what I like and what you like are two different things when it comes to TV shows.
That's also true.
Kenna, Bridge of Spirits is getting a big update and a Steam version. Gorgeous action adventure Kenna, Bridge of Spirits is getting a major update, including a new Game Plus mode, and it's coming to Steam. This news comes from IGN. They reveal that the game will receive a free anniversary update on September 27th, which includes New Game Plus, Charmstones, Spirit Guide Trials, Kenna outfits, accessibility features. On the same day, the game will get a Steam release, having previously been an Epic Games Store PC exclusive. So New Game Plus, which will allow players who've completed the game to restart Kenna's journey with all of their previously unlocked abilities, upgrades, outfits, rot, etc., and take on redesigned and more challenging combat encounters. Awesome. Charmstones that are individually equipable. These unique collectibles each provide different adjustments to Kenna's stats and abilities. New game mode called the Spirit Guide Trials, challenging players' skills with a variety of replayable challenges across 3 different categories: obstacle courses, wave defenses, and boss reflex. Completing the Spirit Guide Trials unlock outfits for Kenna, each one inspired by one of the characters she meets along her journey. Succeeding at bonus objectives within each trial can unlock color variations of each outfit, as well as some unique charmstones. An exclusive new outfit for Deluxe Edition owners. Johnny, I tried to get you into this game, and I failed pretty hard, so I don't know if you have anything to say about this, but I certainly do. So
I have a little bit something to say. This means I get to put off playing this game until September 27th. That's what it means for me. It means I can wait until then. Nah, I still haven't beat this game. I got into a fight encounter that pissed me off, and I didn't feel like dealing with it.
Kenna, of course, is one of the best games to come out on PlayStation, basically ever. It's one of the most gorgeous games of all time. And it plays great. It kind of plays like an old school PS2 adventure game. A Zelda-like, if you will, of like the N64 era. Really, 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 really love this game. Can't recommend it strongly enough. Gut score, it's like an 8.8. It's up there.
Nice.
And I love this because I beat the story, but one of the things the game suffered from is you beat the story. It's like, well, all right, do you just want to play it again? Which I don't like. I like doing new game pluses. So I think this is enough to make me fired up on. I played it on PS4 when it was first released. And so now, of course, the PS4 game that I bought upgraded into PS5, so I can roll all my stuff over there and experience it again with the much more beautiful graphics of the PS5, which I'm pretty excited for. So Kenna Bridge of Spirits anniversary update. I love when studios go back and make updates to games like this. It really helps breathe new life into it.
They don't mention it in their editions, but you know there's going to be graphical upgrades. 100%.
Sure.
You know they're going to tweak it.
And maybe a sale to tempt me to bump up to the deluxe edition. We will see. So, the new Kenna update I'm pretty excited for. So, that wraps up all of the things from this week that I wanted to discuss. It was kind of a light week, but there's some other things going on with Sony bitching at Microsoft in Brazil, but I think enough's been said about that already. That's kind of...
Hey, at least it's stuff that we enjoyed discussing.
Yeah. Ooh, THQ. Never again. All right, so Johnny, this, of course, brings us to the final segment of our show. I'm waiting for this thing to queue up so I can make noise. I don't know if it's going to fucking do it or not, though. That segment is, of course, called... Maybe.
No. Roll it again.
I don't know. I don't know what our machine's doing.
Cut it off. I don't like it. Roll it again.
All right. That segment is, of course, called...
There it is. So much better. Thank you. You did it.
It did it, ladies and gentlemen.
Good job, Riverside. You did it.
Yeah, it took a while. It was maybe in a daze from THQ Nordic still. So who knows? Anyways, it's time for One Up. So my One Up this week is really based. It's about eBay, I guess, because the Expanse idea I had has been thrown out the window.
Sorry.
It's fine. And going back to my original one, it's about eBay. And I just want to talk real quick about, everyone here allegedly, hopefully, probably is a video gamer of some sort. And unless you're a millionaire or trust fund baby or something like that, you probably need more money than you have. It's just kind of the nature of living on this planet is you probably don't have enough money or as much as you would want to have. Kind of the nature of being a gamer is you need money to buy games and stuff. So let's talk about eBay real quick and Facebook Marketplace, I guess, as well. One of the easiest ways to make a considerable amount of money is by taking something that you already know. So all of you know about video games. Congratulations. You listen to a gaming podcast. So this is obvious. You all know about video games. So you're all equipped, if you want to turn what's not only a hobby and something you love, you can turn it into actual money to help out your family or help you invest into your hobby, what have you. I have a collection. God, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a few thousand games at this point. It's big. I didn't pay for it, really. My whole gaming collection, all this stuff that I get, it's just for me going on Facebook Marketplace, looking for people that are clearing stuff out, going and buying it, bringing it home, cleaning it up, and selling it on eBay. So I want to give you guys just a few quick tips on how to maximize making money on eBay with your video games. So rule number one is you need to look at a website called pricecharting.com. So I'll put that link down in the info below. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can go ahead and click on that link. And pricecharting.com is a website where you can look up the value of any video game on the planet, which is great. And so when you're looking at a lot that somebody's selling, you want it to cost about half of what it actually sells for. So they have a tool called a lot calculator. Just type everything in that you saw in the listing, put it all together, see what it spits out. And if what they're asking is half, or if you can make an offer without insulting them that is close to half, do that. And I do that about 2-3 times a week. And next up, go buy the stuff. Be friendly to them. Leave them a card if you can, because they'll refer their friends to you once they learn that you're not a serial killer and that you're friendly. A lot of people are a bit apprehensive about people coming over to their house and buying their stuff. So when you get it home, here's the next big tip, and this one took me a while to learn. I like to list everything on eBay. Some people like doing Facebook Marketplace. Not so much. I don't have time for it. So I do eBay where I can just ship everything off and not have to deal with it. I used to bundle things together. Do not bundle. Bundle nothing. When you go to resell video games, here, just shoe on the other foot, and then my one up is done. But the shoe on the other foot is you're a video game collector, right? So let's say I want a copy of Arrow Gauge. I'm holding it up on screen for those on YouTube. So if you're selling it and it's tied into a lot with an N64 and 4 controllers and all this bullshit, guess what's not going to happen? The person who's just looking for Arrow Gauge is not going to buy your lot for that one game. The same can be said with the N64 console. And so you're like, oh, okay. I learned my lesson. I'm going to take the games out. Now I've got the N64 console and 4 controllers. You're still doing it wrong. List the controllers separately. Somebody's N64 dies, they probably already have controllers. So they want to just buy the system. Or their controller died and they just want to buy the controller. Or they have nothing and they can a la carte. And you can set it on eBay where people get a discount for buying multiple items from you at once, which is the nicest thing you can offer because they're saving you a fortune on shipping. So just list every piece individually. Don't bundle anything together. Offer your clients a discount for buying things in bulk from you because it will stop them from going to anyone else because they're saving you money on shipping, but they're also saving money on shipping and getting a discount. It's the easiest way to sell through these lots very quickly. And you can also maximize your profits because you can ask more for a console by itself than you can at a bundle. You can ask more for a game by itself than you can at a bundle because there's a premium that goes for somebody not having to buy an entire trash bag of bullshit when all they want is the one piece. So hopefully that helps you guys out. If you have any questions about the game flipping business, I'm happy to talk about it at any time. So leave me a comment in the comments below, whatever, and I'd be happy to reach out to anyone interested in this to talk about it. Just kind of give you a frame of reference this week. Alone, I've turned over $1,300 from video game flips. So that sounds like something that interests you. Hit me up. I'm always happy to share what I know. So, Johnny, that's my one up for the week. What's yours?
My one up for the week is this week we also had QuakeCon. Unfortunately, there was no really exciting news.
There never is.
I'm the one every year where I'm going, Quake 5, this is the one. We're going to get Quake 5 this year. And every year I'm disappointed. However, there's one thing I discovered today about an hour and a half ago. I opened Steam and, it gives you like the news for your titles that you have. And one of them, it said Quake Major Update, QuakeCon 2022 now live. I click on it. 3-wave capture the flag has been officially added to Quake on Steam. So if you already own Quake, you can just open it and play what is essentially the first, I think, it's the first I remember ever playing, and I've always been a first-person shooter fanatic. I think this was the first capture the flag. So they've added it back in. It has 9 maps. And this is kind of like, for me being an old school PC gamer, the Quake World era was really like the golden age of online first-person shooters because it has always very intentionally made their games extremely moddable. They make it so that anybody can really go in and do whatever. And that's why there are still, you could go on ModsDB right now and download a new Doom mod that came out today that has never been done before that does this and this and this. That's why these things persist on. But what a lot of people don't realize is that from those old eras, a lot of these mods shaped the future of gaming, and 3-wave capture the flag is one of them, along with A lot of people don't realize that the first Team Fortress was a Quake World mod.
Right.
All of those playable classes, all of that it was a Quake mod. And then Valve bought it and made Team Fortress 2. Just like Dota was a mod for Warcraft 2?
3.
Warcraft 3. So it was a mod for Warcraft 3. Valve bought it and made Dota 2. Same concept. But Three-Wave Capture the Flag was one of the first mind-blowing mods that I ever played, and it felt like that summer that it was out, everyone and their mother was playing Capture the Flag. And it's Capture the Flag with a grapple hook and with a rocket launcher. And I mean, what the fuck? Why would you not want to play that? So if you're an old school first person shooter fan, if you used to play Quake back in the day, if you just want something to mess with, Quake is something that you can buy on any given day for $5 or less. And they just keep adding shit to it. It's amazing. It's like, honestly, the coolest thing about QuakeCon is all these things they keep adding to Quake. I mean, last year we got a whole new episode of new levels. And like a server browser built within the game, and they just keep adding all these cool features to a game that they didn't do what everybody else does and goes Quake remaster $30. They're not doing that. They just, hey, if you bought Quake and you bought it 18 years ago and it's just been chilling in your Steam library, congrats, it just got upgraded, and that's dope. I wish more companies would do that type of thing. But that's it. That's all I got.
One cool point is they did release some games on Gamepass to coincide with QuakeCon.
That's true. Yes, they did.
Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Quake 4, Wolfenstein 3D, Elder Scrolls Legend Battle Spire, and Elder Scrolls Adventures Redguard were all added to Game Pass. Free on the Microsoft Store. You can go claim this now for free, is Elder Scrolls Arena and Daggerfall, so the first two Elder Scrolls games. And also Quake Champions, which that's actually a pretty decent get. You can now buy on the Microsoft Store Heretic Serpent Riders, Hexen Beyond Heretic, and Hexen
Serpent Riders was the shit.
So all of that and more. So any final thoughts? Oh yeah, I see the Thanos there.
Yeah, he just had a big yawn. I wanted to point it out for anybody watching on YouTube. My Maine Coon right behind me.
Any final thoughts for our listeners and viewers this week, sir?
Nah, next episode is going to be a banger because Gamescom is going to be awesome.
Indeed. So
hell, we might even do a 2-parter or something
if necessary, or it's just going to. We'll have to see what Mr. Keeley has in store for us.
Yes, indeed.
Well, until next time, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
See you next week for Gamescom, everybody. Take care.
That's right. Catch you on the flip-flop.
Ooh, yeah.